Inside the huge hall where sits all of ancestors having a conversation on some random topics while the three aged men are looking through some documents. Soon the hall brightened up by the soft voice of Harry and Azure, who stepped downstairs greeting everyone evening while with low yet melodious voices taking attention of all present there. Mrs. Park and Mrs. John smiled at them while the aged males grinned at the ladies, gestured them to come near and take their seats among them. Harry and Azure slowly nodded. Afterwards, they moved their steps towards the sitting area, taking their seats beside each other with mellow moves and small smile resting on their rosy pairs beautifully. How your studies are going? Hope it's doing well, she asked in a soft tone. Our studies are going well, and nowadays we are completing our assignments which we have to submit soon. That's good. And what about your exams? And you both focusing on them too? Are you both focusing on them too? Yes, mom, we are almost done with the preparations of exams. Everything is going well. Mrs. Park and Mr. John nodded, and the silence took over the hall again. Jules gazed at each other with some serene expression as if both are talking through their eyes while there's small frown on their brows which are adding more into their beauties. Their slender fingers are playing with each other as they slightly slide away the bangs which were blocking their eyes mesmerizingly, and soon they got the attention of all present there, who were noticing their each gesture silently. What is it? It seems like you both are here to talk about something, he said, making Harry and Azure note at his words, which make all smiles from the silly acts of lures who are keep sitting quietly. Both delegates finally decided to speak and discuss the matter for which they are here, and soon their words come out from taking the attention of all solely on them. Actually, as our birthday is coming soon, so we have decided something and want to discuss that with you all. As you, yes, we want to celebrate our birthday with our friends as they are asking for the treat. So, what you all say? Hearing the wishes of youngers, Mrs. Park and Mrs. John glanced at each other with smile on as they again faced girls who are now looking at them with their innocent eyes, hoping to get the permission for that. Both lures again glanced at Al and about to speak further when Vi and Sugar strode into the room calmly. Each one grabs the collar of their jackets as they entered the hall. All eyes on the room fell upon them. Azure and Harry again pressed from parted as the essence of males. A stalwart step shut the distance when their stares scanned the hall with quiet grimness. Dainty beings' eyes remained on them, taking in the rugged forms of theirs. The eyes Percy already gave a slight glance at them before taking their steps inside the area. Sugar and Vi eyes met again and with Lewis, who are quiet yet saddened, as if their words which were about to escape are now stuck in their throats. Men's expressions are indelible, and soon males approached near the cow, sitting placidly, placing their jackets on beside when their gazes remained on fiancés who were sat a little far from them, nervously fidgeting with their fingers. You were in middle of talking. Seems like our presence interrupted them. What serious talk had been put on hold when we entered inside? Both stared at Lewis, who did not say anything but sit still. These two wants to hold celebration for upcoming birthday for their some close friends and fellows, he stated, looking at Shorts, whose expression changed for now by the wish of alludings. It would be more fine if we reserve it just for family. We don't stand on that, he said with crossed arms over his chest. And involving friends in family gatherings, we don't appreciate that all, he exclaims, leaning against the couch. The delegates, hearing the statements of resilience as both did not say anything, but their silence spoke a lot, which they got deeply, but still not being able to digest the wish of gathering with those fellows, which is not pleasing for them at any cost. Both Leo's fingers are restlessly moving against each other as they still remain still lowering their gazes over their laps, could not meet murky stares which are like a purse to them, which hold power to spill through their well-beings. As they are avoiding them who are so calm and relaxed, narrowing their robes as they waited for the response of lures who are even refusing to look up at them when their hair are framing their faces gorgeously. What you both think about that? Just tell us what you really want, as it's good idea. Don't be so silent and tell us, are you agree on V and Suga's words? They glance at males before again facing girls. Mrs. Park and Mrs. John glance at their beautiful daughters with warm smile, wanting to hear response of theirs, as well not wanting to force their any decision, no matter how small it is, on dainty beings, who slightly lift up their faces and look at all with small smiles on their lips, not wanting to disturb anyone's beingness, and soon they note, making Mrs. Park and Mrs. John smile wider from the obedience and passion of small frames towards elders. Hours passed at late of night in front of the calm crystal clear watered pool, their search both of delicates, shrouded in the depths of their own thoughts, which seems to bury their hearts now. Their soft monolids, which are hidden under the silken and bright tresses of them, while their starry eyes are shining underneath the dusky shade of their feathery hairs, which are moving slowly whenever they make any acts. Their slender legs are slightly soaking under the pool while they are quietly observing the small waves in the water which are caused by their legs merrily swinging in the reservoir. Their soft and rosy palms are resting on the edge of marble as they sat there taking in the purity of water which is just as similar as their innocence. Their eyes, which never stared sad, are now sorrow-filled. Their existence unaware about the stoics who strides inside the huge area with silent steps, not creating any single noise which can disturb the scenery, which is seeming nerve-calming for murky orbs, witnessing the divine acts of allurings. The stalwarts find solace staring the sight until their orbs seized on Airy and Azure's eyes, which are reflecting sadness in them, recognizable by males who stepped near the couch in beginning of the hall, settling on them with gap in their heavy thighs. Their ominous orbs are roaming on every fragile and dainty act of delicates who are so into their own thoughts to ever acknowledge the presence of stoic males in the sight, until the soft monoliths trailed with the water waves and ended on the reflection of both browny males, which is clear on the surface of water. The twinkling eyes remained still, gazing at males through reflection. We and Suga by now are aware that the luring forms are now well known from their stares on them. Airy and Azure's heads drained just from remembering the sternness of stalwarts from previous times. Brownie males wants those soft eyes to gaze at them with those bright tresses covering their dusky lashes in a subtle manner which looks to toward the resilient hearts just from few glimpses. Airy and Azure slowly moved their starry eyes to directly gaze in the dark orbs only to again look away, not maintaining with the intensity of those visions. But the spirits of assertive males declines to leave the sight of allurings, not diverting their eyes for a minor while which is only turning Airy and Azure more sensitive under the darkness of their vitalities. Airy and Azure slowly take their misty feet from the pool, standing with mellow actions while they never gazed up for once, keeping their eyes low, covered under the shade of their bright locks. Delicates take small steps, leaving the visions of tea and sugar, leaving them captivated once again. The area that was once enchanting now seems to be barren in sights of mills.